Sports Hall of Fame Male Athlete of the Year in 2013. Walter Camp, second team All-American. So really, like, to be honest, obviously I'm biased towards CSU, but like going in, I was like, oh, he got to get drafted. Like, you know, you just put up some of the craziest numbers. What led into you deciding like not to stay at CSU another year? I mean, was it just because you had such a monster season? You were like, nah, like I gotta take my chance now with the NFL. Like, do you ever look back and regret like maybe not staying another year, or do you like how was that whole process? You know, going into the draft and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, that's a. Now, I'm not gonna say a sensitive topic, but
Yeah.
at the same time too, I do look back at that time in my life, and I had to ask myself, like, could you could have stuck it out another year with McElwain? You know what I'm saying? Like, could you have stuck it out another year? And just being 100% real, I wanted to come back. All my teammates knew I wanted to come back. I didn't want to leave. I was only a sophomore. I at least could go to be a junior.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Crazy,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to leave, but it was really the relationship that I had with McElwain. Like, this man was literally, I feel like he's the worst person I've probably ever met in my life. You know what I'm saying? Just being real. And this is my own head coach that I'm supposed to be looking up to, that I'm supposed to be looking at like a father figure. That's how I looked at all my other coaches and how we had relationships. Had coaches that I remember word for word everything that they've ever said to me that's actually made big impacts on my life and how I've actually transformed. But now you look at a guy like that where, you know, like I was telling you before, I'm rushing for 200 yards in the game, and he doesn't even say congratulations to me. He walks in the building the next day and says, you fuck up, you done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you deal with another situation where I was in the middle of practice one day, and this was at the Nevada game. I ran for 312 yards and 6 touchdowns versus Nevada. We walk into practice on fucking Tuesday or Wednesday, I forget the day that it was, and he makes me run down on kickoff. As a scout team player, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know what I'm saying? I guess it was like in his mind to like humble me or something like that. But really, like, I was a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like being a kid. You know what I'm saying? Anything that I did wrong, okay, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Address me about that. But the funny part about it is I had a 3.4 GPA, and I never missed class ever, never. You know what I'm saying? And went to every study hall. I was doing so good in school that they took me out of study hall. So there was really nothing for you to complain about. You come check my classes, I'll be sitting right in there. The real reason why I wanted to do good in school because I almost flunked out in high school. So when I got to college, you think that was going to be a reason why I wasn't touching the field? Hell no. I was going to do the same thing that damn near got me to qualify after my first year. I'm getting A's and B's. Fuck that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Doing all my homework, all that shit. Because I'm not finna put myself in a position where I can't go where I want to go and do what I want to do because I'm not truly handling my business. You know, so that became like another thing for me. Like, I just always about handling my business. So this man was in there intentionally fucking with me, trying to break me. And that was the difference, that he was trying to break me. But I wasn't, I'm not a horse. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lion. It's different. Like, you can't break me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So only thing that he did that day when he made me run down on kickoff, and then after I made the play on kickoff, he came and started screaming at me in my face. Like, I'm talking about, like, spit flying, all this other stuff. Mind you, I just rushed for 312 yards and 6 touchdowns in the game, and you got me running down with the scout players on kickoff because you want to just prove a point to, like, whoever the fuck is around here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even say a word. I put my helmet on, I run down that bitch full speed, and I make the play. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, boom, I'm like, cool, I'm jogging off sideline. Next thing you know, I just hear keys and shit running up to me from behind. And I'm like, boom, I turn around. Next thing you know, he's screaming in my face, tackle him down to the fucking ground. I'm like, bro, like, I just ran for 312 yards and 6 tubs. You want me to tackle this man down to the ground and potentially hurt myself? You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, I thought you wanted me to tag him off to protect me. No, you don't want to protect me. You want to break me. That's what you want to do. You want to break me. You know what I'm saying? And that's a complete difference. So that same day on the field when he did that shit, I'm talking about, that's probably the worst I've ever cried in my life. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I started crying right there in the middle of the field because that was a moment I almost threw away my whole career because I was about to beat the dog shit out of him. Because I seen him, he was trying to break me, and I don't like that. Like, you're trying to find a weakness, you're trying to find a niche in my armor, and there isn't one. I'm a king.
And you
know
were
what I'm
able
saying?
to hold your composure.
And I held it. I just cried, bro. Like, and the other coaches came up to me, bro, like, grabbed me and shit, like, it's all good, man. Like, pat me on the back like I'm a fucking baby. Because really, the truth is, I really want to beat the dog shit out of you. And anybody else in my life that ever would have done something like that to me, there wouldn't be in a question if I was going to knock their fucking teeth out their mouth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The way you're treating me, but I can't treat you like that. Because I'm going to be off the campus.
Right.
So I got to keep eating this shit every time you keep pulling all this bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why after the year was over, I was just like, I talked to my mom and they like, don't put your life in his hands.
Right.
We're not going to put my life in his hands, so I left.
Right.
I was actually going to go to Notre Dame instead.
Oh, shit, you about to transfer?
I was about to transfer to Notre Dame, but when they told me I had to sit out a year, I was like,
yeah, you weren't trying to sit.
I was going to go to Notre Dame or Ohio State. I had both of them literally wanted me to come there.
I'm sure. I mean, you went so crazy.
Exactly.
Like, you probably could have went anywhere.
Could have went anywhere. I talked to Notre Dame. I was talking to Ohio State, and I was going to pull the trigger, but I was like, damn. So if I sit out next year, not only will I not be able to play as a junior, I'm going to come back as a senior. Right. You know what I'm saying? The transfer portal was different then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You had to sit out a year if you just transfer schools for no reason, if it wasn't family related. Right. You know, so boom, I was like, all right, it, gotta go to the league. You know what I'm saying? Take my chances, and I had that broken toe at the time too.
The turf toe?
The turf toe, yeah. I lost 70% of mobility in my right toe.
Yeah.
That happened versus Utah State, actually.
Oh, okay.
It happened way before that, but I was just still balling the fuck out with 1 foot.
Damn.
Dead ass. I had a metal plate in my shoe. And it was giving me a Toradol shot. Not a Toradol, cortisone. They gave me a cortisone shot before the game and at halftime. You're only supposed to take 2 cortisone shots a year. They were giving me cortisone shots by the fucking quarter.
Right.
By the time I got to like 3 games with it, I literally be like, I can't move my toe. They'd go take me right back there, pump one in there.
Yeah. Anything
to get me to play. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew if I didn't play,
it wasn't
probably going to lose. Yeah, we were probably going to lose. You know what I'm saying? So it was messed up, bro. It was messed up. College was messed up, but like I said, I had to take my chance and go to the league.
Right.
And, you know, I was just hoping that my teammates was understanding of it at the time, because I had a lot of great teammates in college that I'm still friends with now to this day, that I feel like even I would have had greater bonds with them if I had stayed another year. But since they had to like almost watch me from the outside, and I try to come back, pull back up to games while I was just right up the road in Denver, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, look, man, I ain't mean to abandon y'all, but they was balling out anyways the next year when they got D Hart. So, you know, shout out D Hart. He's definitely a dog. You know, and my comment that I made earlier is just solely based around the fact that I'm him. You know.
No.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, I'm just popping my shit a little bit right now, but yeah, like that's really. I mean, I can deny it. I can be humble about the shit, but at the end of the day, like it's what's written in stone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's running everything.
Right.
You know, if you bringing up names, you know, you don't have to want to mention my name because it's gonna be right there in paper.
Right.
You know, every time you try to look it up, so
yeah.
I gotta fully immerse myself in that type of thing, because you know I don't like to talk about it at all. But now that I'm getting older, I gotta be more comfortable doing it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But as far as the that era, I think McElwain was only there for 2 years. I mean, he gets a lot of praise for like those 2 years. You know, that were CSU was really good.
They were none of them were his recruits. They were all Steve Fairchild's recruits.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
None of those were his recruits. No, I think like Michael Gallup obviously was. D Hart obviously was his. You had a couple of those guys like that, but as far as the Shaq Barrett's, Garrett Grayson's, everybody that was all from our class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All from Steve Fairchild. So you know that's who he built his legacy around was around another man's recruits that he didn't want to give any acknowledgement to, which was kind of blasphemy to me.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I mean, he had his respect, but I feel like he would probably be a lot more respected in the CSU community if like he would have. I mean, you don't have to stay, but like he didn't even stay for the bowl game that second year. Mm-hmm. He got blew out versus Utah. Like.
He's a selfish dude.
Yeah, he just went. I think he went straight to Florida, and now he's at like Central Michigan. Or something.
He's a loser.
But
he's a pure loser. And I say that you ain't got to edit that out. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
spicy.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's a pure loser. You know what I'm saying? I watched him tell a kid on our team, because this kid, you know, everybody makes mistakes, you know, messes up, but one kid had messed around, got a DUI at school, being a college kid, got behind the wheel, and I'm talking about we're in the middle of the meeting room with, you know how many players on the college team, 100 something?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Coaches and everybody involved. He gets in front of the room and calls his kid up, makes him stand up in front of the damn room, start telling him he's the worst person he's ever met since Jeffrey Dahmer.
That's crazy.
Like, who says that to a 19-year-old kid because they got a DUI?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You telling me he's the worst person you met since Jeffrey Dahmer? Like, bro, get the out of here, bro. You have no integrity. You have no respect for anybody else but yourself. Right. Like, and you don't care about your players, because anytime we walked from the practice field into the fucking thing, we all had to walk the same way. He would walk past every last player and wouldn't say one thing to one player. And people didn't think we watching that shit. We were watching that shit. All right, Alabama, you think you hot shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when really you're a piece of shit. Yeah, that's actually, you're a hot dookie. That's what you is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't holding back. I ain't going to hold back on him because, you know what I'm saying, he didn't hold back on me. You know what I'm saying? He didn't hold back on all the players that I knew and watched them talk too crazy. Even grown-ass coaches that I watched them rip into. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just was like, it's hard to respect a person like that. Very hard.
Is there, like, any type of positive you could say about him, or did y'all talk at all after you left CSU?
Our first real conversation, when he tried to obviously act fake as when we were at the Colorado Hall of Fame thing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I'm going to keep everything PG there. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, I didn't like him. My mom didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just what it was. But the good thing about him was he did know football. He did know football. That I will say. He did know football. He did know how to put players in position. That is a very hard fact. It's a very hard fact. Yeah. But when you're talking about the way you go about doing it, you know, it's a lot of this way better way. You got the Sean McVays out here. You got your Kyle Shanahan's out here, Matt LaFleur's. I watch people be geniuses and be graceful about it.
Even like, Dion, I mean.
Yeah. Like, be graceful. Yeah. Be graceful with your power. He's the type of person where he wants to break you with his power. He wants what's the best way I can put this? He wants to rule out of fear. That's what some people live on this earth to do, is to rule out of fear and be a young boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, their literal presence is to rule you out of fear. You know what I'm saying? Right. Make you like them because you fear them. Right. Don't say nothing about NBA Youngboy because he'd come shoot you. What the fuck? This is not Boogeyman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I obviously learned is that, motherfucker, if you can touch somebody, that means you can be touched. You know what I'm saying? Right, and most people start getting into that fear notion, or they try to rule off fear, and they feel like that's a real sense of power. Now, when you rule from fear, just know that it's the time that you ever turn your back, somebody gonna put a knife in it. No, you know what I'm saying? And that's how all kings get killed. You know what I'm saying? That's why I call myself a kind king. You know what I'm saying? Always humble. I'm always going to show respect first to everybody I'm around. Anybody, I'm going to treat you just the same way I want to be treated. Right. So you know exactly how I want to be treated. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I see it. You don't have to sit down and do an interview with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I appreciate you for even, like, chopping up with me coming,
Bro, this is... I mean, honestly, I saw y'all platform. I saw the freestyle stuff y'all was doing on there. I went through and did my little homework on it. I'm like, this is a cool platform. And one thing that I know and that I love is me coming up, knowing how it is to get shit out the mud. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got to pay that shit back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, and as like I said, I say this to people all the time. Like, you can be a gift in this world, or you can be a blessing. You know what I'm saying? A gift is something that's for you and only you. You know, when you say you blessed, that means that blessing, that gift that you receive, you're spreading that amongst other people. That's how you make it a blessing. You know, so that's how I look at it.